Hello, and welcome back to Bedtime Fables. It is time to slow down, to let the busy day come to a peaceful stop. Tonight, our story is a very slow and very quiet adventure, a journey to find the beautiful, secret magic that is hidden in the tiny, overlooked corners of the world. Let the story begin. In a little house with a big, wild garden, lived a little girl named Mia. Mia was not a loud or a fast or a busy little girl. She was a quiet watcher, a patient observer, a gentle soul who found her greatest joy in the small, secret details of the world. While other children might be running and shouting in the last few moments of twilight, Mia would find a quiet spot on her back porch steps. She would watch as the busy, sun-loving flowers of the day closed their petals, and the shy, pale, night-blooming flowers opened theirs to greet the moon. She loved the quiet of the night, and she knew that if you were slow enough and patient enough, the night would show you its most beautiful secrets. Tonight, as she sat on the steps, a shimmering light on the grass caught her eye. It was not the quick, happy flash of a firefly, but a long, continuous, and gently glowing line. She tiptoed down from the steps and onto the cool, damp grass to get a closer look. It was a snail trail, but a kind of snail trail she had never seen before. It was not a sticky, wet line, but a beautiful, shimmering, and faintly glowing path of silvery, starlight like dust. It was as if a tiny piece of the Milky Way itself had been laid down across her lawn, a secret, magical road that was leading somewhere wonderful. Most people would have thought it was just a strange trick of the moonlight, but Mia knew better. She knew that magic was real, and it was almost always very quiet. Her heart gave a gentle, excited flutter. This was a secret, an invitation, an adventure made just for her. She knew, with a deep certainty in her patient little heart, that she had to follow it. With a final, quiet look back at her warm, sleeping house, she took her first step, placing her bare feet softly on the dewy grass, and began her slow and very careful journey, following the beautiful, shimmering, silver road. The magical snail trail did not lead her on a straight path. It meandered. It wound its way through the garden in a slow, gentle, and very thoughtful spiral. It led her through a great, tall forest of dewy grass, where every single blade was hung with tiny, glittering jewels of water. It took her past a field of giant, three-leafed clovers, their leaves as big as her hands, all folded up and sleeping for the night. She was not just walking through her backyard anymore. She was on a journey through a secret, miniature, and magical jungle, and the silver path was her only guide. The silver path led her to a large, flat, moon-warmed stone, and sitting on top of the stone was a little cricket, his legs rubbing together to create the most beautiful, cheerful, and rhythmic song. It was a happy, chirping lullaby, a piece of music played just for the moon and the stars. Mia, a young girl of about 6, with a very kind and gentle face, a heart full of patience, and big, curious, dark brown eyes that noticed the smallest of details, with long, straight, dark brown hair worn in 2 simple braids, and wearing a simple, soft, white cotton nightgown, stopped and listened for a long moment. She had heard the crickets sing 1,000 times before, but tonight, on her magical journey, their song sounded more beautiful and more peaceful than ever before. Next, the magical snail trail led her to the great rose bush that grew by the garden wall. She had to duck her head to follow the path as it wound its way under the low, sleepy branches. The beautiful pink roses were all closed up, their petals furled tight like little silken fists, dreaming their sweet, rosy dreams. But their wonderful, sleepy perfume still filled the air, a soft, sweet, and incredibly calming scent that made Mia feel peaceful and very, very sleepy herself. She breathed it in, a deep, happy breath, and it felt like the smell of a beautiful, gentle dream. The beautiful, shimmering path finally led her all the way to the old, stone wall at the very end of her garden. It was a wall that had been there for 100 years, and it was covered in a thick, green, and very mysterious blanket of ancient ivy, and the silver trail, the magical road she had been following so carefully, did not stop. It went right up to the wall, and then it disappeared, seemingly into the solid stone itself, right under the thickest, darkest part of the leafy green curtain. Mia's heart gave another gentle, excited flutter. The end of the journey was hidden. It was a secret. With a gentle, careful touch, her fingers trembling just a little with anticipation, Mia reached out and parted the thick, green curtain of ivy. And as she did, her breath caught in her throat. Behind the leaves, there was not a cold, hard stone, while there was a small, perfectly round opening, a secret doorway she had never known was there. And from this doorway, the most beautiful, soft, and magical light she had ever seen was spilling out, along with the gentle, tinkling sound of tiny, silver bells. She peeked through the secret doorway, and she saw a wonder. She saw a tiny, hidden grotto, a secret room inside the old stone wall. And in the center of this magical place was a perfect, glowing circle of tiny, colorful mushrooms, and dancing. All around the mushrooms, their tiny wings a blur of shimmering motion, were the fairies. They were tiny creatures made of pure, soft light, and their gentle, happy laughter was the sound of the tiny, silver bells she had heard. The magical Snail-Trail, her beautiful, shimmering guide, ended right here, at the edge of their magical, secret, and very happy dance. Mia, a young girl of about 6, with a very kind and gentle face, a heart full of patience, and big, curious, dark brown eyes that noticed the smallest of details, with long, straight, dark brown hair worn in 2 simple braids, and wearing a simple, soft, white cotton nightgown, watched, hidden behind the curtain of ivy. Her heart so full of wonder she thought it might float away. She was so quiet, she was sure they hadn't seen her. But then, one of the little light fairies, this one glowing, a warm and friendly gold, broke away from the dance. It zipped through the air, a tiny, happy comet, and hovered right in front of her face. It was so close, she could feel the gentle, magical warmth on her cheeks. It looked right into her eyes, and then, with a graceful movement of its tiny, glowing hand, it beckoned her to come inside. It was not afraid of her. It was welcoming her. With a heart full of a gentle, trusting courage, Mia carefully crawled through the secret doorway and into the magical grotto. She sat down on the soft, cool moss, making herself as small and as quiet as she could, so as not to disturb that beautiful party. But the fairies were not disturbed. They seemed happy to have a visitor. Their gentle, chiming laughter filled the air, and their beautiful, swirling dance now included her. They flew all around her, their tiny, glowing bodies leaving trails of soft, colored light in the air, a beautiful, living, and silent piece of music. One little fairy, glowing a soft, sleepy blue, landed for a moment on her hand, its light. Cool, gentle touch, before zipping away to rejoin the dance. The little golden fairy who had invited her in flew back to her once more. This time, it was carrying something. It was a small, dark, and perfectly smooth stone. A stone that had been polished by a river for 100 years. The fairy gently placed the stone in the palm of Mia's outstretched hand. The moment it touched her skin, a beautiful, intricate, and glowing silver spiral, the exact shape of a snail's shell, appeared on the surface of the dark stone. It was a gift. It was a thank you for being so quiet and so gentle, and for following their secret, magical path. It was a tiny piece of their magic that she could keep forever. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, the fairies' beautiful, energetic dance began to slow. Their bright, happy lights softened into gentle, sleepy glows. One little fairy let out a tiny, sparkling yawn, and then another and another. Their magical party was coming to an end. It was time for them to find their own sleepy places to rest, inside the soft, glowing caps of the mushrooms. Mia, a young girl of about 6, with a very kind and gentle face, a heart full of patience, and big, curious, dark brown eyes that noticed the smallest of details, with long, straight, dark brown hair worn in 2 simple braids, and wearing a simple, soft, white cotton nightgown, knew it was time for her to go. With a final, silent wave goodbye to the sleepy, glowing grotto, Mia crawled back out through the ivy curtain and into her own familiar garden. She looked down at the grass, but the beautiful, shimmering snail trail was gone. Its magic had done its work. It had led her to its secret, and now it had faded back into the moonlight. But she was not left in the dark. In her hands, the beautiful stone the fairies had given her was now glowing with a soft, gentle, and steady silvery light. It was her own personal lantern, a magical guide to light her way back home. She tiptoed back across the dewy grass and sat down on the familiar, cool wood of her porch steps. She looked back towards the end of the garden, at the old stone wall and its dark, leafy curtain of ivy. It looked just as it always had. No one in the whole wide world would ever know that a magical, secret doorway was hidden there. No one would ever know about the dancing fairies and their glowing mushroom ring. It was her secret now, a wonderful, beautiful, and sleepy secret that she would keep in her heart forever. Her quiet, little adventure was over. A great, big, wonderful yawn. A yawn so big it made her ears wiggle, escaped from her mouth. The slow, patient journey and the beautiful, magical dance had made her very, very sleepy. She tiptoed silently back into her house and up the stairs to her own cozy bedroom. She placed the magical, glowing stone on her bedside table, where it filled her room with a soft, gentle, and peaceful silvery light, a perfect, magical nightlight. She climbed into her bed, which felt warmer and more comfortable than ever before. She snuggled down under her soft, warm quilt and closed her eyes. She didn't need to count sheep tonight. Her mind was not full of busy thoughts. It was full of the beautiful, gentle memory of what she had seen. And as she drifted off to sleep, she dreamed. She dreamed of the sound of tiny, silver bells, and of beautiful, swirling, colored lights that danced just for her. She dreamed that she had tiny, shimmering wings of her own, and that she was dancing in a secret, magical, and wonderfully sleepy grotto with her new fairy friends. And now it is time for you to follow your own secret, sleepy path. It is time to let the busy day fade away and to begin your own quiet, gentle journey to the magical, hidden garden of your dreams. It is a wonderful place made just for you. A place of peace and of wonder and of the most beautiful, gentle magic you can imagine. The path is waiting for you. Listen to the quiet, peaceful rhythm of your own breathing. Let it be as slow and as steady as a little snail on a great, important journey. A long, soft breath in, and a long, sleepy breath out. This gentle, peaceful rhythm is the most relaxing sound in the whole wide world. It is the lullaby that the quiet earth sings to itself, and it is telling every single part of your body that it is time to let go and it is time to sleep. And so, the little house and its big, wild garden settled into the deepest part of the night. In her cozy bed, a little girl named Mia, a young girl of about 6, with a very kind and gentle face, a heart full of patience, and big, curious, dark brown eyes that noticed the smallest of details, with long, straight, dark brown hair worn in 2 simple braids, and wearing a simple, soft, white cotton nightgown, dreamed her magical, fairy dreams. And in a secret grotto, hidden in the old stone wall, the tiny, gentle fairies slept their sleepy, flowery slumber. The snail, his magical work done, was resting peacefully in his shell. The whole world was quiet, safe, and full of a deep, gentle, and very sleepy magic, a magic that is always there, waiting to be found by those who are patient enough to look. When the sun rose and filled her room with its warm, cheerful, golden light, Mia awoke. She felt wonderfully rested, and her heart was full of a quiet, happy secret. She looked at her bedside table, and there it was, the little, dark, smooth stone. In the bright light of day, its magical, silvery glow had faded, but the beautiful, intricate, spiral pattern was still there, a delicate, silver drawing that looked like a tiny, captured galaxy. She picked it up, its surface cool and smooth against her warm skin. It was real. The fairies were real. The magical journey had been real, and it was a secret she would keep, a special piece of nighttime magic to carry with her through all of her sunny days. And now, it is time for you to begin your own quiet, sleepy adventure. It is time to let the busy day fade away and to follow your own gentle path to the magical, hidden garden of your dreams. It is a wonderful place made just for you, a place of peace and of wonder and of the most beautiful, gentle magic you can imagine. The path is waiting for you, and it is a soft, easy, and very, very sleepy path to follow. Thank you for following the magic with us at Bedtime Fables. There is always a new, secret path waiting to be discovered in the quiet of the night. If you would like to join us for our next gentle adventure, you can ask your grown-up to tap the subscribe button so we can all meet again. Until then, may you always find the magic in the small, quiet corners of the world. Good night.